down a little bit. Okay, hopefully I'm audible. Okay. So, the last stream I worked on this character sprite animation. Let's see, how do I guess I'll bring it up here. So I worked on this animation. And I think that went fairly well. It's not the greatest animation in the world, but I didn't want to spend a bajillion frames on it. But now I need to have walking animation, because I don't have that. So it would make sense to do some more animation. It's not the only thing I could do, of course, but it seems like the easiest thing for me to do right now. I still have work to be done on these puzzles down here, so I'll leave that somewhat open-ended. If I've got one viewer, so if this one viewer wants me to not do animation, then I can work on puzzles, but I think primarily I need to do animation. Okay. So, to begin with, I'm going to make another file, just so I don't have to worry about accidentally destroying everything. I'm not sure what's the best one to start with. Animation, okay. Everybody likes animation. I like animation too. I wonder if I can change this, like, grid background color. Probably is some way to do it. Let's see. No, that's grid. Let's see, background. Okay. Yeah, so I can change that. Let's make that, like... it doesn't look like it live updates. I think I want to make it... just colored. Maybe not that colored, but it might be a little better to work on. Okay, so I don't need the hair animation in here, so I'm gonna delete one of those frames, and then I'm gonna just chop the hair off, because that's gonna be easier for animation purposes if I don't have to worry about the hair right now. And then we'll figure that out after the fact. This long hair thing is gonna be a liability. I know it. Anyway, how's everybody doing in the chat? Okay, so I need walking. I feel like I think for now I'm gonna actually just flatten these down. Oh. Merge down. Okay. I don't know whether that's gonna be enough room for a walking thing, but we'll try it. Animation is not the easiest thing in the world, so there we go. Cosmic Express. I, as I've said like a million times, have not had much time to play anything lately. I did watch Wild at Heart last night, the David Lynch movie, which was definitely strange. Not really strange for David Lynch, but yeah. Where is my old player? Well, I was gonna look at the old walking animation. I don't know if I actually have it in here though. Doesn't look like I do. Oh. Anyway, walking animation's not easy to start, so we'll just kind of just rough something out that looks vaguely like walking. We're gonna do legs first. Yeah, I still haven't had a chance to play Cosmic Express, so. This is gonna be not easy. Of course, it wasn't with the smaller one either, so. Okay, let's see. That's pretty bad, but I am not an expert animator. Let me turn on onion scanning. Oh yeah, the original Zelda is really good. I haven't played the newest one, but I think the original one's the best one that I've played, so. God, it's so hard to animate legs moving in not stupid ways. Okay. Well, I guess to begin with, kind of your basic poses for walking. If you're gonna do a two-pose walk, is some kind of standing like this, and a walking, which I kind of already have standing, so I should probably try to walk that way, but yeah, we'll go with that. I don't want to onion skin too much. Yeah, we'll try to work from what we had instead. Yeah, I think that the main thing that really works well about the first Zelda is how it's like Zelda games came so much as they went on about puzzles, and the first Zelda is just not about puzzles at all, really. It's about secrets. Like a good example would be the block pushing. Like in later Zelda games, it's like, well, it's kind of a given that you can push blocks, and some old dude probably explains to you that you can push blocks, but in the first Zelda, it's kind of like supposed to be a big secret, like a big surprise that that you can push blocks. This is strange. What's going on here? Yeah, I'd say actually this foot needs to be like forward more. It's almost at something useful. It's not really though. Maybe pull this one. Animating things at like an angle when you don't have pixels to go around is pretty difficult. But that's okay. Oops. I usually end up on a first pass of an animation with something that's pretty terrible. Want me to tell you a gross story? Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. So I made coffee, and I didn't realize that the milk was out, so I'm drinking expired milk. That's my gross story. Yeah, I think that's like the other thing about the first Zelda, which I do understand that the new Zelda somewhat emulates, which is the just the open-endedness, where you kind of start out and you're just free to go wherever and do whatever, and there's no real order. I mean, you understand that there's an order because the dungeons have a number associated with them, but other than that, it's like you're probably not going to find the second dungeon before you find a lot of the other ones. So I'm not sure what's going on here. We're gonna animate these feet and then figure out what the heck to do. I also don't feel like it really fits with the other frame. Animating feet. I'd say they look like they're in reverse order, though, primarily is one problem. Oh, yeah, well. Oh, yeah, expired milk. It only went out yesterday, so, but yeah, it's starting to go. It doesn't taste weird or anything. I'm sure I'll be fine. Alright, let's figure out what we're doing here. This foot needs to move back, like this. Kind of like the other one there. Except more back. Animation's also just weird because a frame might look bad on its own, but in the context of the animation look right. Plus, I'm in the crazy position of deciding that I was actually going to do a walk and a run animation, which I probably shouldn't do. I should probably just do a run animation, but... That's really bad. Because this frame should be front foot lifting up. Like if I'm going from standing to this, then the front foot's lifting up is what's happening. What is going on? Oh, I don't have actual frame selected. That's the unfortunate issue here, is if I don't put it in the middle somehow. I always end up, like I said, with too many frames because I am not a great animator, so I just kind of, oops, I don't need that to be a, what is it, Alt-M to make a new frame? Okay. Ridiculous looking, but it's starting to look closer to something. Watch me struggle to animate. That isn't right either. If I do like... I'm just gonna delete this other foot. It's really janky looking. This is like maybe the worst looking thing I've ever animated, but it'll look good eventually. Trust me. Trust me. It's gonna be great. This one doesn't really look like it fits in. Like I want to have it in there, but it just doesn't fit into the animation cycle really. Very difficult. Mention the yeah. It'd just be nice if I didn't have to feel like I was just totally gnashing about randomly. This song sounds a lot like the what was that song? Lux Eterna. I'm just gonna pull this frame out for now and see what it looks like. I still do need a frame here. I'm just not sure what it is. Why I need to, probably gonna need to have a different shoe color for the closer one. We'll just do it like this for the purposes of animating. We'll do it that way. Other than this one, that looks very strange. Also, this looks very jerky here. Well, the feet look almost normal. too many frames, but let's see. Let's go in here and let's change the speed of these to be faster. Let's try to figure out what are the frames I don't need. I don't think I would need that one. Part now, it feels like it's too fast. Hopefully this is not excruciating to watch. Put a dark color on this back leg. That looks really weird. Really hard to decide what to do with that frame. Maybe if I did this, it would look better though. Pixel art is not easy. Because you always gotta just push stuff around and see what it looks like. It's really just this frame that's throwing me off though. that looks fine, except that it looks limpy. Because of this, like, excessive knee bending here. Like, if I have no knee bending, it looks weird. And if I have too much knee bending, it looks weird. It's also just possible that I'm off in the cycle, you know? Like that, really this frame should be like this, which is probably true. Okay. This is why walking animations are harder. Like, walking animations can be a lot harder than running animations because the movements are more subtle. It looks so limpy. It's so bad. It's hard to tell why something looks limpy. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, that doesn't look awful. Doesn't look great. Okay, that looks almost normal. Okay. without that extra frame, it looks limpy, but I don't know, it just looks so strange. Music. Gotta restart some music. Oh, this is starting to look like something. So there's that. Oops. It looks weird without separate color shoes, though. This is like a really bad looking animation. It looks really terrible. It looks really bad. why it looked better when I was doing this. Because there's just less confusion about which foot was which. Okay. How long have I been animating? About an hour. I've been doing this longer than that. Feels like it. Bobbing here is not right though. if that's right or not. It doesn't look bad, so... That is really... I'm not happy with it, but it's probably good enough. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, that's just one direction. I still haven't finished the arms. So I do need to make another, I'm just gonna make another layer for the arms. So those look out of sync too. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. And then another layer for the other arm, which I'll just, to begin with, we're just going to try duplicating this one. And we want to color in a different color for one thing. What's going on? Why is that erasing? Oh, because I didn't have every layer like color pick on. Just had current layer color pick on. Oops. Oh, that doesn't look right. What's up with this? What happened? I did something weird when I moved that. Maybe I didn't. It looked slightly better before. I don't know what happened. So look best like this. Alright. I don't know what's going on. But let's grab that darker color. probably some way to move like all the frames at once, but I don't really know how, so. Oh, I see. Let's see, how does this go? Go like that. Yeah. That doesn't look terrible, except for this frame. It's not great, but it does the trick, I guess. Okay, gosh. That's a lot of work just for like one frame. So let's okay, so let's make it into an animation. Which we need to crop it like that. Walking left. So spit that out. Let me pause that. So that gives me a sheet there. So not a very good, not particularly good animation, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I really need to like start cleaning up this sprites folder, but and I should be able to implement it fairly easily. Let me figure out though. Let's call that new player walking east, or we'll go west. And delete that meta file. Okay, so now I can change the import stuff for this. 16 pixels, apply, and I forget exactly what the amount was for these. 22 by 32. Okay. So I'm gonna apply there, and that will give me which frames. I need to set this to not filter. And no compression on it. Okay, so now, how does that work? I forget. So I just added this stuff a week ago. Okay, so I believe it's on the player sprite. Yeah, so there's animation strip, and I basically want to add, I want to add another component and then drag in all of these frames. Oops. Sprite, let's lock that so I can drag these in easily. So that'll give me 6 frames. And let's see. I really could have the animation thing automatically figure out the strips, but I'm just going to do it this way. It'd be nice if they had a name associated with them, though. Ugh. I think that's the main problem, is there's literally no way to tell by looking at this which is which. It's just they're different. So in the player, we should be able to set those different animations. Yeah, okay, so that should be... Animation index should be equal to 3, basically, is what this is... should be. And then I need to set here... 0, 1, 2. Oh yeah, I gotta do it for north, south, and east. This is why art is something that I don't particularly love doing, because like you have to do an animation, and you have to do it for all the directions, and I'll probably just flip for east and west. I just need to make some adjustments to stuff to where the thing's centered, because right now it's not. So if I flatten this down and then flip it, it's not centered, so it doesn't look right. But that's no big deal. That's something that can get fixed pretty easily. So I need to figure out facing direction, which I think I already had, but the animation index needs to change based on that. So this does give me facing direction. I don't think I have facing direction stored as like an integer. I've got it as a vector, but I don't really need that. I just need an integer, so we're just gonna go int facing direction. Well, we'll do it this way. So I could do it as an enum, but I don't really know that I want to. I'm trying to think. Well, it might be a good idea to do it as an enum. I'll just have to figure out how to do enums again. Where is... should be on... Oh my gosh, I've got so much crap here. The puzzle panel has an enum. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you just do public enum, and then, okay. Pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to do that. It's going to be public enum. Why did I do that time? I'm just going to go facing direction. And then that should be north, south, oops, gosh darn it, east, and west. So I think that's the way enums work. And then I go public facing direction is equal to, we'll just go south by default. Maybe let's change that to south, north, east, west. Yeah, that's probably fine. So then I can set the direction here instead of the animation index. Yeah, so that'll be fine. Yeah. So here, instead of doing this, oops. We'll just set direction, and then based on the direction, then we can figure out what animation to play based on a couple other things. So this one is going to be, if x is less than 0, then that's see, movement, no, it's facing direction is equal to facing direction dot west, I believe. This will be east, this will be south, and that'll be north. we don't really need that. So then, so this is if direction magnitude is above a certain thing. So we know that we're actually like moving in that direction, basically. So we want to set the different directions, and then how's this gonna work? Well, basically I want to set the animations here. So we're just going to do that, basically. Which would be just like if facing direction is equal to facing direction west. Seems fine. Then we want to set the animation index. Ah! What the heck? No. Oh. That's why I need to remap that. Yeah. Oh, see you later, Alan. If you haven't already left. So index should be... Oh, I think this is south. Yeah, that's south. So south is 0. North is 1. And east-west is 3. I don't actually have a separate for that. It's 3 and then flip, basically. Which I can do this way, but I may end up doing with an actual thing. Like an actual separate animation. I don't know. West. Oops. Okay, so that's basically that. Ideally, I would want to say like something about structuring it might make more sense, where I can subtract a certain amount to get the thing. But so this is actually for standing, and this is for movement. All right. So movement, we only have east and west right now, which is going to be actually 3. So this should be 2. So for now, we don't actually have an animation for those. But I think we'll just leave it like that, and that'll be fine for now. Okay. That seems doable. Let's see what happens. Hey, look, I have a walking animation. It's a walking animation. There's still some like jitteriness with the motion, but yay! Actually, it doesn't look too bad, but I need to have a running animation is the problem, because I also have run, and that it looks weird. For this speed, it looks fine though. I'd say. It's not the greatest, but it looks alright. I think the person's posture is a little weird, primarily. I am doing everything. I'm doing the art, I'm doing the code, I'm doing the design, I'm doing the music, I'm doing everything, so it's gonna take a while. But yay, a sprite. It needs to have running animation. It needs to have a better walking animation than this too, but this is doable, so. And actually that should be playing much slower than it is. So let me change the play speed for that. Those are probably not going to get mirrored. Like, I'm probably going to do something where the hair is a separate thing that goes over top of the rest of the animation. But yep, art, music, design, sound, everything. Mostly I've been focusing on design, but since I've been doing the game for a while, it seemed to make sense to start doing art. Yeah. This background color does not stand out super well compared to the sprite, so I think I want to change that. Which is not going to have a background color eventually, of course. It'll be actually like a thing, but since I have a somewhere. Yeah, I have this with this background color. Let's use that. I think this will let me. Oh, maybe it won't. Should be able to get this as a hex anyway. So that's a better background color, I think, for walking around. It makes the walls look very not stand out, but yeah, I definitely need to improve the walking animation, but hey, that's something. But yeah, these walls need to be a different color now, probably. I mean, I've been working on the game since the very beginning of it for... Oh my gosh. Year and a half, maybe. Heading up towards 2 years, but that's not really exactly a fair thing to say because I don't work on it full time. So it just takes time. Takes a lot of time. Let's see. I've changed the color of this so many times, though. But yeah, something a little lighter like that is better. Problem is I have some puzzles that the color kind of matters for, so just namely like these. I guess it doesn't matter, those can be this color, but it definitely looks strange when they are. It's not the worst walking animation though, it's better than having nothing. So yeah, even though it has been like a year and a half, heading up towards 2 years, like I said, it's not super fair to say that because I haven't been working on full time, but that's how long I've been working on. Okay, so that's not terrible, but definitely looks strange, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think part of it is the like I said, the posture. Let me open up the standing one here and pull that in again. Frames like that look really strange, yeah. I don't have this as indexed, do I? Oops. No. This one might be though. No, neither of them are indexed. I mean, open to other styles is... I'd say that I'm planning primarily for it to be pixel art. Like, I'm not opposed to other styles. I don't know what else I would do that would work. I guess that's the main thing I would say. I also don't know that doing something else would make it easier. I think it would mostly make it harder. Oh man, I need to change the compression on those because those look weird. But it's all still just temp art for the most part. Like, this is all just kind of gray boxed, right? I've done some concept stuff of where is that? We've done some concept stuff of what the areas would look like. I swear I had another one here. That's not the right one. I have got too much stuff in here. I gotta start moving stuff around and organizing things. So it is really impossible to tell what's going on in here. Oh, it's here, okay. Yeah, so I've done some concept stuff of like what areas might actually look like rather than being just this kind of thing, but it's still very early. I don't know how visible that is on the stream, but yeah. Let's see, I've been streaming for a couple hours. I might take a break here in a little bit, and then I can either do some puzzle design stuff, or I can work on the other animations that I need. Turn off my hand scanning. It looks strangely low, like it should be up higher. Close these out because that's confusing. Yeah, like I really don't have any issue with doing it with pixel art. The only thing there is obviously there currently is like kind of a stigma on pixel art games, but since the game's so weird, I don't know that I should worry about that, because like it's better for me to just kind of not think of the game commercially that much. Just because realistically, the game is not going to sell because it's just weird. It's a weird puzzle game that nobody's heard of, and I don't really know how I'm going to make it seem compelling. And the market for indie games right now is so ridiculously competitive that it just doesn't make sense to think of it as a actual commercial endeavor. You know, it makes sense to think of it more as just something that I'm doing because I like doing it. Sure, yeah, you can post a link. pull that up. It's alright. I mean, I think it's kind of busy. Like, it's pretty high contrast. Under what context are you, like, wanting my opinion? Like, if you're just wanting my aesthetic opinion on it, it's fine. Or if, you know, I don't know if you're wanting my aesthetic opinion or if you're wanting my opinion of as a possibility for a style for this game. I'm just gonna restart this album again. Okay. Well, the one thing that I'll say is it's very, very important for the art style of this game that the art be as noise-free as possible, because a lot of the puzzles in the game involve noticing subtle details about the environment. And so, you know, for example, you could easily see me doing something here where for this wall I have a bunch of detail in there of like stones and stuff. I think the pixel size here is bigger than the original. But let's see, let me find the actual thing. Here we go. But yeah, you could see me having like a bunch of detail in here of like, if I can find the layer of like stones, where like every little stone has its own detail on the wall and whatever. But it would be distracting. Now this is like a bit of spoilers, I guess, mechanically, but like the reason that these actually, like this panel here, this solution is correct, has to do with these notches, like whether it's notched out or in. So there's just subtle details like that in the environment that if I start adding a bunch of unnecessary detail with like an art style like this, it becomes very hard to pick out the things that actually would matter, because there's a lot of stuff that's there just to look nice, you know? Whereas this is a kind of game where that kind of stuff is distracting from what you're actually looking for. I think you can do it without pixel art, but it definitely, it requires going very sparing on the details, because the details matter, and if something draws your eye, then it should be important. So it should be pretty clean looking, however it comes out. But this is just an early concept. I'd done another concept of a different area, which may or may not look like this in the final game, but that was like another concept I did. So, of course, that was when I was thinking about maybe making the game primarily black and white with some high contrast colors in it. I don't think I'm going to do that now, but anyway. I'm not too worried about whether it's going to work or not as pixel art. I think that will work. well, I'm not gonna spoil you on the whole puzzle. So this isn't even actually a fully defined version of the puzzle, but it's just an idea that I have. And I actually don't know whether it's going to work that way. I have that area in the game presently, but it doesn't have those notches in the pillars. It's actually done this way, where I have these things here, which I may or may not do that way, but it seemed like it might be more interesting to do it without even having that. But the equivalent there for that would be like this top one. So, but yeah, that's the puzzle. It just seemed the most eloquent way to explain why it matters, the art style, and why I can't just, why I have other, I guess to say why I have other considerations besides just what I like aesthetically. Yeah, that looks alright. And let's see, what do I need to do for this? Yeah, I need to figure out what I'm doing as far as not having the character like flip weirdly. So I think probably what I'm gonna do is make it wider, so it'll actually be like a 32 by 32, and just the extra space will more or less be ignored. I really do wonder whether there's a way to move that around. Yeah, like that's sort of what this would be, is that you'd have puzzles and then you'd unlock. It's not clear from here, but where are the, okay, so you would start like out here. You'd start out here, you'd solve these, and then this gate would go down, and then you'd go in here and you could solve these at that point, and then that gate would go down. I just didn't bother doing like drawing a whole area there. It was just kind of a basic thing to get across an idea, so, of how it would be done.
That ain't right.
It looks strange though. I think it's just this frame that looks strange to me. Ah, what happened to my arm there? I always end up accidentally, like, erasing things or deleting some part of... And why will it not let me remove this layer? Oh yeah, I forget it won't let me delete stuff when it's, like, not visible. Like, I don't really understand what happened here, but somehow this got moved out of the way. Don't really understand. Okay. But yeah, a lot of the areas in the game are kind of that style where you kind of have to go and solve all the puzzles in order. I don't have it set up in the game right now to where you would have to actually... I mean, it is set up to where you have to solve them in order to go forward, but like if you can see a puzzle, you can solve it right now, so it's not really set up properly in some cases. I think over here is not set up that way. Like realistically, you should solve this, and then that should power this one, so that then you can activate it. Whereas these would not be activated at all. But right now, it's just not set up that way. So. Yeah. Obviously, I want to have that, and I do have some areas that are like that a little bit more. Like this one opens up here, and then you can go over here and do these, or you can go over here and do these, and so it opens up a bit more. But and maybe this won't be a problem later when I have more art and I can differentiate areas a lot, but the more branchy I make an area, the easier it is to get lost. So most of the areas right now are pretty linear. I do plan on, like this area, I think when you get to about here, or at least here, it's gonna branch off, so you'd be able to do these puzzles, or there's like some different types of puzzles that are kind of the same mechanic but a variation. So actually I do that here, like this corridor area, it goes up and then it branches off, and there's a whole area over here, and then there's an area up here, so I do some branching. Okay, so I think these are going to have to get merged. I'm just going to have to throw in the towel on keeping all these separate layers. Merge down, merge down, merge down. So that really needs to be at this position. So that when it flips, it will look like that. So that's good. So we'll save that, and then we also want the standing one, whatever that is. Like I said, I gotta start organizing these because I've got too much art and it's starting to become a mess. I think it's not that GIF. I've got too much stuff in here that's like for reasons of putting it on Twitter. Okay, so there's that one. So this needs to be 32. Like this. Okay. So that way I can flip these things and they look fine. Oh. Ugh. I said I was going to take a break earlier, but... Let's see, export Sprite Street, horizontal strip. And that should be... let's see. Assets, sprites. This is what it should be. Yes. Export. And I just need to go in here and change the sprite size on this. $32, $32. Yeah, there we go. Apply. And then I need to do the same for this walking sprite. Export that. Apply. So the lighting will look weird, but it should flip properly. Yeah, much better. And the hair blowing thing, like I said earlier, I need to sort that out separately because, like, it should be always blowing in the same direction, you know? Like, it should always be there. Still feel like that walking animation looks strange. It looks a little better, but it just looks weird. I'll sort it out eventually, but yeah, it's strange. Whee! Yeah. gonna have to do something with the player sprite, because in the case of these, it's clipping into these tiles. Which is probably just a matter of moving the sprite up. Yeah, it needs to get moved up. Let me see what in the actual scene it looks like. If I did it like that, then it would probably look better. No, it still clips in, which is weird. It might be sprite order, but I'm not entirely certain. Oh, that looks better. Thought of lore. Yes, I have thought of lore. I'll say that most of the story in the game is going to be, well, most of the story in the game is going to be kind of secret and hidden, so I don't really want to talk about it too much. But there's definitely going to be some kind of story. I'm not sure to what extent it will manifest itself or in what way. But there's going to be probably 2 levels of story. One, which is going to be closer to a traditional type story in a game, although very, very lightly done. I don't really think there's going to be a lot of cutscenes or anything like that. Maybe a little bit, but it probably would be something in terms of how much story is happening that way, that's a little bit in between maybe Fez and Sword and Sorcery. I think Sword and Sorcery is a little bit more stories than I would want to have. And then there's going to be kind of a secondary layer of story that's stuff that you find in the world that you kind of have to piece together to figure out what that means. But the base level story will be pretty straightforward kind of thing. Now, this is supposed to have... What is going on? Why do I have 2 of these open? It's really confusing when you have 2 sprites open. Especially when it doesn't actually look like the sprite I remember working on. Oh, that's why this was weird. Because I was actually drawing this on this layer. I see. Close that out. And close that out. I got too many things open. Let me re-export that again. Okay. I'm going to take a really quick break, and then I'll come back and I'll probably start working on another walking direction. Alright, actually let me turn a light on. Let there be light. Didn't really make it that much brighter in here, but a little bit. Okay, so I need to work on the other walking directions. One thing I was thinking about, though, was I guess I can talk a little bit about what the first layer of the story will be. Oh, it's a short break, not a long break. I just needed to use the bathroom, mostly. So the kind of first layer of the story is so you're playing as this woman, obviously, and you just kind of wake up in a weird semi-ritualistic looking place on a floating island, and you have to get off this island, and then you end up in this village where the people sort of see you as a bad omen, and then banish you from their village, and then you're kind of off outside of this town. I don't know exactly how things are gonna turn out with the town. The earlier idea was that the town was gonna be inside of a giant egg. I don't know if that's still gonna be the case, but... And so then you're off kind of solving puzzles at that point, but you don't... The protagonist doesn't actually remember who she is or how she got there, so whether or not she's a bad omen, she's not really aware of that. But you may be able to figure these things out through the course of the game. Who you are and how you got there and what the nature of the place is. So, which I do actually know those things, so there are answers to those questions. Alright, so I need to do other walking directions. The up and down walking should be easier because mostly the animation would be the same, other than the body is turned around 180 degrees, so... See, height-wise, 96, I think, is 3 times 64, or 32, rather. Okay. Oh, well, I still had the other ones in there. Let me look at this, she posted. Oh, for a character? I mean, that's fine. I did the character used to actually have red hair, but I don't particularly like that style. I don't want a realistic style, but I don't want a terribly unrealistic style either. Let me turn off that grid line. Well, I guess I kind of need it. Let me just change it to where it's the actual size of that frame. Okay, so we'll do the downward walking sprite, I guess, first. I'm not sure what the people in this town will be, but they're not going to be humans. In fact, some people will recognize that you're human, but other people don't believe in humans. And there's sort of a religious aspect involved in these things of where some people think that it's just made up stuff. I like red hair, but it actually she has to have white hair, so. The outfit could change somewhat. I'm not opposed to that, but the hair does have to be white. So, let's see. Walking downwards. Walking downwards is, I think, actually going to be a harder animation than the other one. Oops. Whoops. I should really probably have done it this way first. I'm actually not sure what... I guess the center is there. It would be between the feet. Red hair is cool, but yeah, it matters. And walking downwards is not a great thing to have to do here. Why is... Ugh! See, like, this is the annoyance. Is like... I'm not on the same layer, so I ended up just totally wiping out my... I mean, I am on the same layer, so I ended up totally wiping out my other animation. So, I gotta be careful with these things. I'm gonna add a new layer that's north-south, and then we'll paste those in there. Okay, that's fine. And that, yeah, it's easy to screw stuff up. Alright, I'm not exactly sure where to begin on this, but we're gonna try to do it like we did the other one. Oh, actually, I forgot to add those on here. It's supposed to have little bracelets on. Ugh, I'm on the wrong layer. Kill me now. Kill me now. Layers and pixel art are weird. They're useful, but it's just really easy to mess up stuff. I'm not too actually worried about it. So the way I did it on the other one was mostly I just tried to animate the legs walking and then sort out the rest of it afterwards. probably won't be a frame that looks like the standing one, but I guess this really needs to be kind of like that. Actually, that was somewhat easier than doing the side animation frame, I think. Here it is in white. Let me look at this. Oh, the same sprite. Yeah, that's alright. You know, I just like white hair. Let's see. So this looks really sudden there. Doesn't look terrible. Let's see, I'm gonna do the arms on another layer again. Oh. Let's see. Yeah. It's hard to make that look right. That. Should be able to flip it horizontally. Oops. I just want to flip these. Can I just flip those? No. I guess I need to do that. Obviously, I don't want it to walk like that because that looks strange. So I gotta offset it again. So that should look all right. I'd say that mostly looks okay. I think maybe there's a little bit of overextension on the leg. Like maybe that needs to be shorter, but I don't know. I don't really know. Better. that's too low too. I think it's supposed to be more like that. Yeah, that doesn't look too terrible. Walking down. Yeah. It's a little tricky. It wasn't as hard as this one actually, because this one I still think looks terrible, and I think this walking down one actually looks pretty good in comparison. Let's merge down these arms so that I can put is this supposed to have a bracelet on it? What is up with this? I feel like that just got stuck off in the wrong spot. Okay. That doesn't look bad. That doesn't look too bad. Oh gosh. Okay. Alright, so that's walking down. I really need to just dupe that up and then clear everything except the first frame and turn off, let's see, get rid of north there. And on this one, clear that. So that'll be south, I believe, and this will be north. So I still have that. Okay, I should listen to something else. What will we listen to? A lot of stuff that I can listen to. This one's alright. I don't even know if the music is audible, but... Really, I should take the north one and copy it. Probably. And move it down. It's gonna be pretty close. I think that might actually have moved my arm thingy on that. Well, I still have the other north one, don't I? So I guess it doesn't really matter. That's what I'm going to start with on this one. Is I'm going to start with just trying to, oh, that's not quite right, is it? Looks like, anyway. It should be fine. So we'll start with taking... Oops. What in the heck is going on? There we go. Possibly, I can mostly get away with this. I probably can't entirely do it, but I might be able to mostly get away with it. Totally not gonna work, but like I said, it might get me most of the way there. So there's gonna be two things about that need to get fixed. One of them is that obviously this can't be like that. goes. The right side looks pretty good, so I just kind of need to copy that on the other one. It's tricky, but it doesn't look too bad. looks okay. The arms look a little strange. I'm not entirely certain what to do about them. Oh, hello, William. How's it going? Hello, Mr. Cheap. Hope you're doing well. I am just attempting to animate this sprite walking. It looks kind of weird. I'm not really sure why, but one thing that is definitely weird is the arms don't quite look right. Because I just copied the walking forwards arms and they look strange. Which makes sense, because, I mean, realistically, it should be more like that. And it's a little strange. Tricky to get this to look right. Anyway, thanks for the host, William. So if you're new and you haven't been to my stream yet, I am working on a game called Taiji. It's a puzzle game. Sort of the way that the game works is you solve these puzzles that are these panels where different tiles can be on or off, and you just have to figure out, based on all sorts of different kinds of things, what's the right thing to input on the panel. There's all kinds of different puzzles in the game. Right now I'm still, the game's still very much prototype art. It's not got much art. You notice I don't have animations for walking yet, which is the thing I'm working on. But there's lots of different kinds of puzzles in the game. And yeah, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the game right now. So I don't know if that's elaborating enough to understand what the game is, but I can explain further if anybody wants to know. I guess I should post the link in the chat for that, for the blog. So obviously you can read a whole bunch of stuff on the blog about the game. So right now I'm just working on player walking animations. Better. So now I'll just take that and move it over to the other side if I can. Which is going to be a little tricky, but not impossible. Yeah, the easiest thing will be to duplicate that layer and then just erase everything else, I think. There we go. Okay, so let's take that, and I think Shift H, all of these. What? For some reason that's flipped. I must have flipped the wrong thing. Shift H. Oh, that's. Let's see, that's the problem. So I accidentally flipped the whole sprite. Okay, so now I need to go back to this layer and then get rid of this arm. And I need to offset this by 3 frames. Move it over and delete this. So. Yay, there's a walking north animation. This looks a little bit hustly, but I guess so does the other one. Oh, the shoulders are a bit weird. I need to fix that. Because the shoulders sort of rippling in a weird way. Well, I guess it would be okay if it was like that. That shouldn't be like that. It should be like... Okay. That looks alright. Okay, so that gives me my 3 walking direction sprites, basically. So at this point, I should be able to export that out as a sheet. And just call it new player walking. Just hit export. So that should be in here as walking, and sprite, and multiple, and 16, and point, and no compression, and sprite editor. There's so many things I gotta do. 32 by 32, slice it. Okay, so now there should be a bunch of sprites here. Alright. So that's easy enough. We're going to look at the player. Sprite. And like I said, these animation strips really ought to have names on them because it would make it easier to tag stuff properly. So when I add this component that I can tell, okay, this is like the first one or the second one or whatever, but for the time being, we're going to add 2 more animation strips. We're going to replace the frames on this one with these 6. Oops. The annoying thing. So I gotta lock this. So that's not the right one. I need the sprite. So I gotta lock that so that I can drag these in. Okay. So that should be south. Oops. South. Oops. Okay, I guess we'll set it to 1 or 0 even. Then drag it in. Okay, so that's south. Then this will be north. And then this one will be east, west. Okay, so that should work. I should be able to set this to like +3 pretty easily, but I think I'm just gonna do it this way. So this one's gonna be 3, 4, and 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. And then the standing is gonna be 0, 1, 2. So that should, if I didn't screw something up, now I should now have walking animations for all the directions. Oh, I definitely screwed something up. Something with the number of frames. Not sure what, but the down walking animation is working with the left and the right one or not. Oh, it's because I didn't actually pull these in. Yeah, see that's the issue here. It's like I have to pull in that onto these, right? So, yeah. So this is not really a tenable solution, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It really should just probably pull them in based off of the components. So this one looks pretty good going down. The one going up looks too much like it's climbing up something though. I'm not really sure exactly how to get around that, but hey, it works. So I've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. Our base level, we got done what I wanted to get done, which was some different sprite animations. I'd still like to fix this thing. I'm not really sure what to do with that. You know, I could obviously make it to where the player pops up on the Z-axis because of these tiles. Like, that's something I could do, where the sprite of the player actually does get adjusted to be on top of these. I think the collision readjusted my position. Like, it works until I hit a collision and then my Z gets reset to 0. It must be the near clip plane is why it's doing that, but like, it's nice because I get parallax overlapping for free, but it's also tricky because if I don't want that, then I have to be a little careful. Like, it's nice because in the case of like here, I would get overlapping for free if it's done properly. Like if I well, it should. I might not, but doesn't look like I quite do. But anyway, I would get overlapping for free. So I'd say left looks pretty okay, down looks pretty good. Maybe it's a little overboard on the stompiness. This is definitely weird, so I need to work on that one. But for first pass, that's not bad for some animations. I'm not the best animator, but works okay. I need to figure out though how I'm gonna make this animation system not be horrible. So I wanted to do it with a custom inspector that would give me like some things where I could add like a new animation, and then it would show up here, and then I could drag the frames into it, and I could name it or whatever I wanted to do. Let's see. 3.5 hours. Let's see. Is anybody still hanging out in chat? I guess there's a few people hanging out. Trying to decide whether I want to switch tasks and do something else. I really don't want to continue trying to perfect this walking animation. Like, it's not great. I don't love it, but it works, so I should probably just leave it as it is for now. I think the walking down one works the best, but and I don't know if I have the mental capacity right now to do some puzzle design. Like, I'm not super puzzle brained right now, but I do want to finish up that area at some point. I still have my weird idea for like a maze type puzzle thing. I need to get back to working on this area at some point too. But you know, it's all right. So I think I'll just end the stream here. As I mentioned before, there's a blog for the game. It's taiji-game.com. I try to post there every week. After I stream, I'll do a little post about what I worked on stream and stuff. But I didn't do that the last week, but the week before that I did. So there's lots of information there about the game, technical stuff, design stuff, all kinds of things. So you can go there and you can sign up to the mailing list if you want to be notified when the game is done. There's also a link here to support development on Patreon, which is of course appreciated because the main reason I can't work on the game full time is because I have to work a day job. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining. If you're not following the channel, you should follow the channel, of course, and I will see you all around next time. Have a good one.